Really quickly, I'm doing a live stream for the launch of Trials of Osiris. If you could go to twitch.tv/mtashed, I will be live all day, going flawless and showing off that sweet, sweet Trials loot. Please support the stream, it would mean a lot to me. Now, let's get into the guide. Hey everyone, mtashed here, and today I wanted to do a quick guide on Trials of Osiris to help you go flawless and give you a couple pointers on playing this game mode optimally. I'm going to give you a couple gear recommendations as well, so let's jump into the content with some easy rapid fire stuff first. You need to pick up a Trials package from Saint 14 before you jump in and play. Now, I highly recommend going for the Mercy because it forgives 1 loss per run. That means you can still go flawless even if you lose, and that's important because the further into the cards you get, the sweatier and better the opponents will be, but also more likely that they're going to be a very high power level. I'm going to talk about that later in the video, but chances are you're going to run into some people that are much higher power than you. If you end up running into one of those lucky or unlucky teams that are super, super high, those games are going to be almost unwinnable. So it will be nice to at least forgive that one and hopefully jump up against people closer to your level. If you're looking to speedrun and you think you've got a really good team with good power levels, you could also take the Ferocity to speed things up, but I think Mercy is the safer route if you're trying to go flawless and get to the Lighthouse. Make sure to pick up your Trials bounties as well as replace additional bounties while you play. These will give you Trials tokens that you can use to get rewards, but these will go away every single week, so if you don't spend them on the weekend, they're gone. You'll also get a powerful drop at 3 wins, 5 wins, and a pinnacle piece at 7. Now, if you go flawless, you will also go to the Lighthouse and open up a chest there for an additional award, most likely going to be a pinnacle drop as well, so win all your games. Now, this tip is only going to apply for the first 1 or 2 weekends before people really start to power up, but the first weekend especially because this artifact is actually going to be active, the power level from it. So you can see I'm over 1,000 power, and I can imagine many people right here that are watching on this first week are 960, 970, 980. Even at this power level, I'm going to take 4 headshots instead of 3 headshots from a hand cannon. I'm going to be able to kill you with 2 headshots and a body shot because I'm a sweaty, greasy tryhard that didn't have to go to a job, right? And so you have to remember there's going to be a lot of people like that. And the further into your card you get, the more likely it is you're going to see some crazy high power level person that was able to grind all week. If you're trying to go flawless this weekend, you might want to commit to doing all of your powerful drops and getting that power level up now. That will give you a much better chance at winning because even if you're playing a terrible person in Trials of Osiris, if their power level is way higher, they'll probably come out on top. They're going to be tankier, they're going to do more damage to you, and in most situations, you won't be able to win a 1v1 duel. Now, I wanted to give you a couple of gear recommendations as well. It is an auto rifle meta, but if you're on PC, you can still use something like a spare rations and do very well, but I'm guessing many players that are watching this are on console. So if you're looking for a kinetic weapon, I definitely recommend the Suros Regime. This thing melts when you spin it up, and if you've got the catalyst, even better. It might allow you to clutch out some big plays. If you're on console and you're looking for an energy auto, the Hard Light is probably one of the best guns in the game right now. Even on PC, this thing is nuts. I highly recommend it, and you might want to check this out. If you're looking for a good sniper, the Beloved is easily farmed in the Menagerie, and I definitely recommend it. And the Mindbenders is one of the most popular shotguns in the game, but might not be as good as it used to be. It's still going to be strong, but you know, this gun did get nerfed a little bit, and shotguns nerfed as a whole. I would recommend sniping over shotgunning and fusion rifles if possible. If you're confident with sniping, it's a lot better at taking out people that are reviving and picking people at a distance and leaves a little bit less guesswork in melee. And I don't know. I think that sniping is the way to go in Trials almost all the time, but if you don't like to snipe, running in with a shotgun is going to be good as well. If you want to go flawless, you want to make it to the Lighthouse, I've got a couple of gameplay tips that I think are going to help you. One of the big ones is revives. I think this is one of the most important things. You're going to see here in a second that I actually pick up this revive in the middle of dueling and shooting here. I actually am like kind of holding down this lane here and getting the revive. You need to practice or rebind your keys so that you can revive on the fly and in the middle of engagements. Bringing someone back gives them an overshield, and it gives you another man advantage in case you end up dying. Don't sacrifice your aim, but bringing people back is hyper important to winning Trials of Osiris, and you can even see in this clip it kind of messed me up and I ended up dying. If you get a pick, you need to guard that body. Whether it's up close with a shotgun or at a distance with a sniper, you can't let them get back to that body and bring their player back for free. I think that this clip is a good example showing how crazy it can be with the revives on both teams. Now, this super isn't in the game, bringing yourself back to life, but the revives will be. It will be absolute crazy drama, and it might be a good idea to even pop a super to get a couple revives from time to time. It makes you more tanky and allows you to hopefully get those a little bit safer. Always go for the revive if you can, because if you end up dying, you at least have some backup that can maybe clean up the kill. Now, there were exotics in Destiny 1 that allowed you to revive much faster, and so I don't think it's going to be as oppressive as the first game, but you still need to be wary of it, that it's going to happen a lot, and you need to be defending it. So let's jump in with another tip, and that is, don't be a hero. Don't be a hero. Unless you are getting pressured and it is a must-do 1v1 situation, go for the revive. In many situations, people end up backing off to regroup or they back off to stay alive, and it gives you windows to go for those revives. Instead of chasing them down, and they most likely are hard scoping that door, go for the nearby revives and try to regroup and push as a team. If there's a bunch of revives in that room for their team, as well as a bunch of revives for your team, if they leave that room and they leave that engagement, they are giving you a free opportunity to win the round. If you go for the res, if you go for that life advantage, you will come out on top way more than pushing down the hallway and trying to clutch it out. In many cases, you might even trade even if you kill them, and the round will be a tie. Go for the life advantage, go for the win, play smart. Now, as I said before, I know this is all kind of based on revives, I think that sniping is very, very strong in Trials. You can see in the majority of these clips, I am using a sniper because it allows me to deal with revives at a distance, as well as pick targets very quickly from a safe distance or some pretty interesting angles. If you want to shut down heavy, you can do it a little bit easier from a distance with a sniper. Someone's running into the room, you can still hard scope them and kill them before they can even really react. And I think that snipers are the dominant weapon for this playlist. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is supers. This guy outplayed me super hard with that. And supers are going to be important. They're probably more important in this game mode than pretty much any other game mode in the game. A super allows you to be tanky, which means you can most likely get revives. Something like a Sentinel bubble will allow you to get free revives, and even capture the point if it goes to time. But you could also just be super tanky as a Dawnblade and go for revives, and force people away from your allies. This is probably one of the only game modes where I would honestly recommend speccing intellect a little bit if you can. I think that the meta would be recovery and intellect, so you can get your recovery back after duels, but also having your super up before the other team. If you can get your super before the other team, that means you can most likely generate orbs for your team and snowball a little bit. And if you have high intellect, there's a good chance that you can have multiple supers in one game. This is a ton of value to have, but there's also a very good chance other people are doing this as well. So you need to get used to dueling people in your supers. If you have a couple of friends, I honestly recommend going into private lobbies, playing some mayhem, and just fighting other supers and figuring out which ones you're good against and which ones you suck against. Personally, I'm someone that likes to use shutdown supers like Nova Bomb so that I can kill other supers, but there's some really good roaming supers like the Dawnblade that you can use to slay out and get a bunch of kills. Now, this one might sound obvious, but hear me out. Communication. People are going to play differently in Trials. They're going to be at the back of the map with a sniper rifle in a weird, creepy angle off your radar. There's going to be someone crouching off the radar behind a box, and if you don't communicate when you see them, it could lead to disaster. I highly recommend that you are using a headset, you're using a mic, and you're talking with your team, because radar isn't enough. This isn't a random pub game. This isn't Rumble where you're in it for yourself. You need to talk with your teammates, tell them to go for the revive, tell them to go for the capture point, tell them to protect a different player's revive, and there's a lot of communication that's needed if you want to survive. This is going to be sweaty. This is going to be hard. It is probably the most difficult playlist for many players to succeed and go flawless. And so if you follow these tips, I hope that I give you a little bit of a better chance. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.